Wang Xing An, who was paralyzed on the floor, looked at the phone screen. Jia Yi? China's military number one. Isadona? The underground empress who controlled over half of the world's economy. Oh. And the undisputed number one person in the world. These three names, any one of them was enough to shake the entire world. And now, the contact numbers of these three people were on this young man's phone. To call these three people directly, the difficulty was much harder than talking to the president of a country. This. Within the room, Tang Yongqing and Tang Yongyuan, their families, and Wang Xing An's underlings all stared at Luo Feng. Just where did this youth in a black casual shirt come from? You're messing with me. Wang Xing An's eyes were wide open, his expression ferocious, lying on the floor staring angrily at Luo Feng. You think a random phone list can scare me? You said you know the HR Alliance chairman, the head of the dojo of limits. And I even said I'm Hong's son, who doesn't know how to brag. Looking at the entire world, there are very few people who can directly contact these three people. And people as young as you, there probably aren't more than 3 in the entire world. Wang Xing An laughed coldly as he stared at Luo Feng. If I were to meet someone like that, I'd go buy a lottery ticket. Luo Feng laughed involuntarily as he heard this. I see you're a spirit reader too, you have some background. Wang Xing An lay paralyzed on the floor, staring at Luo Feng. Do you want to play a civil game with me or a martial one? Civil martial? Luo Feng looked at Wang Xing An with interest. Tell me. Martial, it's when you lose your mind and kill me. The hospital is a public place, the headquarter city's surveillance system is everywhere. Everything that happens here, the surveillance system will record it clearly. When the time comes, the Wang family will go through the legal channels. Even if you're an advanced level war god, you'll still be sentenced to death. If you kill me, the law will sentence you to death. This is martial. The civil one is simple, let me go. I won't leave, I'll just stay outside the room. In a while, the headquarter city's police will arrive. Let's see if you're unlucky or if I'm unlucky. Wang Xing An stared at Luo Feng, his gaze filled with madness. Luo Feng gazed at Wang Xing An on the ground. In the ward, the Tang family had long been scared out of their wits. The legendary Wang family was not something they could deal with. And this relative he just met was actually a spirit reader. He didn't seem to be an ordinary person. But no matter what, the Tang family was the weakest among them. Wang Xing An. Luo Feng looked at him calmly. Speak. Wang Xing An stared at him. Looks like you're not afraid of death. You have some ability, Luo Feng slightly nodded. However, there are many people in this world who aren't afraid of death. For example, a large number of warriors fighting in the wilderness, living on the edge of life and death for a long time. I'm very curious, why do you force so many girls to become your women? There was a rare hint of pride in Wang Xing An's eyes. Hobby. My only hobby. Every outstanding girl is a masterpiece of God, the best collection. If the soft way doesn't work, then the hard way? Luo Feng continued, if the hard way doesn't work, then just destroy it. What right do you have to destroy those girls who don't submit to you? They're just ants. To be part of my collection, it's their honor. Wang Xing An said confidently. Luo Feng looked down at the youth on the ground. I'm not related to you, I have no enmity with you. You just wantonly control other people's fates? Luo Feng looked at Wang Xing An. You said you wanted to play the civil game with me, the martial game. I'll tell you. If you play the martial game, you die. I'm fine. If you play the civil game, you'll still die. Luo Feng looked calmly at Wang Xing An. I have no enmity with you, even a researcher like my cousin who has contributed to the country, she hasn't done anything evil. She resisted and didn't submit, yet you sent her entire family to hell? Just based on this point, Wang Xing An, I can tell you this. I can wait for the police to come. I can wait for your military's help to come. I can wait for your Wang family's big figures to come. I can even let you prepare well before letting you go to court. Use whatever methods you have, whatever background you have, I can announce right now, the court's final verdict will be, death, immediately executed. LuoFeng's voice was very calm, almost as though he was announcing something very normal. Luo Feng looked at the 2 bodyguards beside him. Bring your Wang young master out. And wipe the floor clean. The 2 tall and sturdy men glanced at each other. One of them dragged the already paralyzed Wang Xing An out, while the other wiped the blood stains on the floor of the ward. Outside the ward, the hospital's security guards and directors were all here. However, when they saw the surveillance footage, they realized that one of them was actually a spirit reader. Immediately scared out of their wits, they didn't dare enter. Wang young master. Wang young master, are you all right? Director Tian and a vice director, upon seeing Wang Xing An being dragged out, ran over. I won't die yet. Wang Xing An's expression was cold. Anyone with a bit of status in Kyoto headquarter city, who didn't know of the few powerful young masters in Kyoto headquarter city, Wang Xing An was one of them. This director Tian, as the director of a large hospital, naturally knew many big shots from different industries including Wang Xing An. Young master, what do we do? The 2 bodyguards looked at Wang Xing An. Kyoto headquarter city and the 8 surrounding cities special forces, who doesn't know me? Tianjin City Special Forces Captain Li Dong even drank with me before, he'll rush over immediately. And send the news directly to our Wang family. Wang Xing An's gaze was filled with madness. He's really crazy. Even crazier than me. A red disc-shaped battleship was already flying above Tianjin City. Within the cockpit, Jia Yi, who was dressed in a black Chinese tunic suit, sat there with his back as straight as a pencil. Mr. Jia will reach Tianjin City soon. Luo Feng is currently at Tianjin City's #1 hospital. Within the cockpit, a bespectacled middle-aged man smiled and said, Luo Feng acquired quite a few Muya crystals this time. If we can get one from him, it'll be considered a success. Jia Yi nodded. Remember, when I speak later, don't interrupt. This Luo Feng's growth is too shocking. He was actually on par with the third chairman during the battle on Misty Island. And he's only 21 years old. Too young. Jia Yi said solemnly, who knows, in the future he'll be like Hong and Thunder God, an unshakable existence. Hong and Thunder God. That was already a person's strength that could easily surpass a country's. The 5 great countries were extremely courteous towards Hong and Thunder God. This was a result of a person's strength being too strong. And with Luo Feng's growth speed, in a short few years, he was already on par with the third chairman. In the future, it wouldn't be strange for him to be on par with Hong and Thunder God. No choice. Luo Feng was too young, his potential was too shocking. Mr. Jia, we've reached the hospital. Ichim, there's a police car below, what's going on? Let's go down. Jia Yi said coldly. Kyoto headquarters city, main city district, Wang family. His security chief is an idiot? The luxuriously dressed bald old man roared like a lion. Don't tell me he hasn't even seen Luo Feng's picture before? When the news from Tianjin City special forces arrived, he actually didn't even stop them. Dad. The middle-aged man beside said, Luo Feng is after all a representative, you know this too. Representative-level fighters' pictures and information are kept secret, very few leaks. The security chief oldly has seen Luo Feng's picture before, but he's never seen him in person. Just seeing the video from Tianjin City, to be able to tell that the young man in the video is Luo Feng, that's not easy. Get lost. You're still talking nonsense. Hurry up and call Shingan. Are you afraid you haven't caused enough trouble? Luo Feng. That's on par with the third chairman. Can our Wang family afford to offend him? The Wang family leader no longer had his usual calmness. Instead, he was incomparably furious. Against a powerful fighter that's on par with the third chairman, even a country has to be courteous. What's a family like him? Even though the entire HR Alliance worships a few representatives, they're still worshipped. Even the HR Alliance wouldn't easily offend a normal representative, much less someone at Luo Feng's level. Tianjin City's first hospital. Inside the special ward. The Tang family and Luo Feng's family were all inside. Outside, there was already a large number of fully armed special forces police gathered. There's quite a commotion. Luo Hua looked outside. Brother, quite a few police are here. Don't rush. Luo Feng took out his phone. Hello, you're already at the hospital? Ah, right, I'm at the hospital. See all the police in the hospital? I'm right in the middle of the police encirclement. Huh? No problem, I just met some scum and dealt with him. Alright, come over here. Squad number 1 in position. Squad number 2 in position. Squad number 3 in position. Listening to the voice from the walkie-talkie, the Special Forces Captain Li Dong said, the target is a spirit reader, everyone must follow the plan, don't be careless, we must capture the enemy in one move. Also, do not harm the other innocent people in the ward. Roger. Li Dong nodded. As the most powerful special forces in Tianjin City, they had their own plans to deal with powerful fighters. Wang Xing An, who was being supported on a chair by the side, watched the scene with a gleam in his eyes. Li Dong suddenly took out his phone from his pocket. Looking at the number, he was shocked. Yes, Chief. Li Dong immediately stood straight, his expression serious. Yes. Understood. Understood. Li Dong hung up, then immediately picked up the walkie-talkie. Retreat, everyone retreat. The Special Forces police who had already occupied important positions in the surroundings could only retreat in confusion. Then under Li Dong's orders, they quickly lined up to greet the chief. Li Dong, what's going on? Wang Xing An, who was paralyzed on a chair, yelled. Shut up. Li Dong glared. Chief Jia is here. Jia Yi. Wang Xing An was shocked. The Special Forces police split into 2 rows, standing straight on both sides of the corridor. Then from the end of the corridor, a skinny middle-aged man wearing a Chinese tunic suit walked over with 2 subordinates. The epaulets of the 2 subordinates made the police stand even straighter. It's a general of the army? 2 generals of the army as his followers? Just which leader is this? Grand Aunt, rest well here. Dad, Mom, you 2 stay here with Grand, I have something to do. Following the voice from the ward, a young man wearing black casual clothes walked out. The corridor was silent. The Special Forces police, the head of the hospital, Wang Xing An, who was paralyzed on the chair, didn't dare make a sound. The Special Forces police formed into 2 rows, 1 on each side of the corridor. In the middle of the corridor, Jia Yi walked towards Luo Feng. After Luo Feng walked out of the ward, he walked over. Representative Jia. Luo Feng smiled and walked over. Representative Luo. Jia Yi walked over too. The 2 smiled and shook hands. The surrounding people didn't make a sound, only Wang Xing An's face became extremely pale. Let's find a quieter place and continue our chat. Luo Feng said, following which he and Jia Yi headed towards the elevator at the end of the corridor. Behind the 2 of them were 2 generals. In the entire corridor besides Luo Feng and Jia Yi, no one else dared to make a sound. They just watched as Luo Feng entered the elevator and left. Who? My God, did you see the epaulets? 2 army generals. After they left for a while, the people in the corridor finally burst into a commotion. That's a being surpassing the war god level, Jia Yi. Back when we were fleeing during the Grand Nirvana period, I saw him battle with the monsters. The silver-haired vice principal beside shouted. It's Jia Yi. The other representative Luo, is definitely Luo Feng. Special Forces Captain Li Dong was sweating profusely. I was actually preparing to capture investigator Luo Feng. I was really looking for death. Even though he had never seen Luo Feng in person as the head of Tianjin City's police force, he still knew of Luo Feng's name. Wang Xing An, this time I almost died because of you. Li Dong turned to look at Wang Xing An, who had been moved to the side and was lying on a chair. Wang Xing An's face was pale. It's over. Wang Xing An's mind still clearly remembered the words he said in the hospital room. Whatever methods, whatever background you have, I can announce right now, the court's final verdict will be, death sentence, immediately executed. Suddenly a phone rang. Your phone is ringing. Li Dong shouted. The bodyguard beside Wang Xing An immediately picked up the phone and answered, placing it beside Wang Xing An's ear. Listening to his father's angry roar and orders. Dad. Wang Xing An suddenly hugged onto his last straw, saying, the person in the hospital room just now was Luo Feng. At this time he didn't dare hide anything, explaining everything from start to finish. He could only hope that his family could help him. And his father could only hang up and go find the head. 5 minutes later. In the corridor. 3 soldiers in black uniforms walked up to Wang Xing An. One of them showed him a piece of paper. There was a special stamp on it. Wang Xing, and you are suspected of murder. We are now officially arresting you. After saying that, the other 2 picked up Wang Xing An, and the 3 soldiers left without looking at Li Dong. It's over. No one can save him. Li Dong knew Wang Xing, and was done for when he saw the stamp. There were many arrogant and lawless people in this world. But, if one often walks by the river, one's shoes will surely get wet. Heaven's net has long arms, but nothing escapes. One day he will meet an iron plate that he cannot afford to offend. Just like Wang Xing An, compared to Luo Feng and Jia Yi's level, he was indeed a small fry that couldn't even cause much of a stir in their emotions. A single word from him could kill him. Kill him personally? It was too embarrassing. It was in a quiet living room in the hospital. Luo Feng and Jia Yi each poured a cup of hot tea. This is what happened to you on your trip to the capital Bay City. Jia Yi shook his head and laughed. However, in this world where there is light, there will also be darkness. Without darkness there will not be any light. So, darkness was unavoidable in any era. This Wang Xing An will be executed immediately after the court-martial trial. Luo Feng nodded. He understood this point too. Dark people and matters were unavoidable. Jia Yi, why have you come to find me? Luo Feng looked at Jia Yi. Muya crystals. Jia Yi smiled. I'll be straightforward. There's no choice. These crystals are too important. 1 Muya crystal was enough to create a representative expert. And how many are truly loyal to the country? With 1 more, our country's influence and position in the world will be higher. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. Of course we can't just take your crystals for free. Everything will be fair. Jia Yi added, if you have any conditions, just name them. Normal items don't interest me. Luo Feng said directly. However, I'm still interested in the various items within the archaeological ruins. Some treasures, strange things, even the remains of the ruins are fine too. I hope Jia Yi can arrange for someone to prepare a list for me. When the time comes, I'll be able to choose the items from the archaeological ruins. No problem. Jia Yi smiled and nodded. Back when the ruins were discovered one by one, the countries had indeed gained quite a bit. However, compared to the Muya crystals, their importance paled in comparison. However, sorting out the list, pictures, videos, etc., would require 2 to 3 days. Jia Yi said. Then we'll discuss when the time comes. Luo Feng smiled. Alright, when the time comes, I'll head straight to Yangzhou to discuss with you. Jia Yi smiled and nodded. Currently on Earth, in terms of training methods, Babata had long since prepared. The only things that could truly attract Luo Feng were the items from the archaeological ruins. Whether it was Luo Feng or Babata, they both hoped that from the remains of the archaeological ruins, they would be able to assemble a small ship. That day the news of Wang Xing An's death sentence reached Luo Feng. After receiving the news, LuoFeng's new cousin Tang Yongqing cried tears of joy. She had finally escaped from that nightmare. Tang Yongqing originally thought that Wang Xing An could cover the sky with one hand and she would be trapped in that nightmare forever. The Tang family was extremely happy. His father Luo Honghua, as it had been over 40 years, this was the first time he saw his aunt. Hence, he was prepared to stay for a few more days and spend more time with his aunt. Luo Feng and his family were temporarily staying in a quiet villa arranged by the army. Night. On this day it was snowing heavily. The villa's heater was on. Second floor training room. Luo Feng sat cross-legged. Luo Feng, I will direct your consciousness into the private virtual space I've built for you. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. At the same time, I will be on alert within a 1000 m radius. You can relax in the virtual space. Virtual space. On a mountain peak that was as tall as the clouds, a white-robed Luo Feng suddenly appeared. Luo Feng surveyed his surroundings. The mountain peak was bottomless. Looking up into the sky, there was actually a huge planet. It almost took up a third of the sky. Are you shocked? The little demon Babata, who had 2 horns on his head and blood-red pupils, was wearing a black robe. He floated to the side. The universe is extremely mysterious. If two planets are close to each other, or if one of them is especially big, such a situation will occur. Today, you will officially receive the Great Master's inheritance. Babata raised his head, his little face filled with confidence. First, you have to understand, for a skyscraper to be tall, its foundation has to be incomparably sturdy. This is also why you need 50 years to reach the star level. If you really don't care about anything else and crazily train like a stuffed duck, in 3 years I can let you reach the star level. However, the price is that you will never be able to step into the universe level. Babata said. Luo Feng listened carefully. To become a domain lord or even a sector lord, you have to take every step seriously. Babata waved his little hand. Wah! A blood-red castle immediately appeared behind him. Follow me. Babata flew into the castle. Luo Feng followed. Rumble. The castle opened. Master. 18-8 tall rock-sculpted giants stood at the entrance of the castle and bowed respectfully. Babata shook his head. These 18 steel towers were the original master's 18 followers. They have always been loyal. However, when Unmo planet was destroyed, they lost their lives. I'm only creating a virtual image of them. In this castle, I've created the 18 steel towers and the 36 beauties. Following Babata, along the way he saw many beautiful women of different races. Very quickly, he arrived at the huge room on the second level of the castle. This is your training room. Look. Babata pointed at the 4 walls of the training room. Shwa. Immediately, the 4 walls were blocked by bookshelves. And here, I've prepared all the books you need to learn at the Star Traveler, Star Level, Universe Level, Domain Lord and Sector Lord levels. Saying that, all the bookshelves immediately had books appear. The entire training room, the 4 walls had definitely had over 10,000 books. You're now a Star Traveler. Therefore, the secret manuals on these 2 shelves are what you must cultivate. Babata pointed at the 2 upper levels of one of the bookshelves. The upper level is about fighter training. A strong spirit reader must have a strong body. Your force exertion, body strength etc. must all be trained. Right now your body is at the student level 9 peak, your consciousness is enough, your body strength breaking through to the Star Traveler level 1 stage is very easy. The lower level is about spirit readers, it's even more important. It's mainly split into the control, illusion and miscellaneous sections. Each section is extremely profound. Babata said, Master's inheritance is unique even in the universe. Master's attainment in fighter training is very high, his attainment in spirit reading is even higher. Master has 9 great undying slaves. These 9 undying were actually 9 slaves that Master used a spirit technique to permeate his soul a long time ago, controlling them from within. These 9 slaves still have their intelligence and memories, only that they are 100% loyal to Master from the bottom of their hearts. When these 9 undying were controlled, one of them was a universe level, 6 were domain lords and 2 were sector lords. As Master's strength gradually increases, these 9 slaves are also slowly training. Master's technique is special, in that the slaves have their own consciousness and can also train. Babata said proudly, and the slaves don't dare betray. The moment the Master dies, the slaves will die too. The 5 undying slaves in the Unmo planet ship died because of their Master's death. Babata looked at Luo Feng. Of course, Master's inheritance, it's very hard to get started. Hence, before Master died, he created an inherited soul imprint for you. When I first came into contact with you, I've already infused the imprint into your body. Babata said, it's noiselessly entering your soul. I estimate in another 3 hours, you'll be able to get started. Luo Feng looked shocked at Babata. Inherited soul imprint? He didn't feel anything at all. Why are you so shocked? Babata waved his hand and a chair appeared beside him. Babata immediately laid on it, leisurely rocking back and forth almost like a baby bed. Master is an undying. If the inherited soul imprint he created was able to merge into your soul without you noticing, would that still be considered undying? With Master's accomplishments in the soul imprint, even if he ambushed a sector lord, he wouldn't be able to sense it, much less a Star Traveler punk like you. Luo Feng was helpless. Against the teacher who had paved the way for him before he died, he indeed had no way to resist at all. Luo Feng. Babata crossed his legs on the recliner and waved his hand. A big apple that was commonly seen on Earth appeared in his hand, and he began to eat it. From now on, when you enter this virtual space, you will mainly train in this cultivation room. And today I will determine your future path. You should know, no matter what you do, you have to first plan your path and move forward step by step, only then will you be able to walk far. Blindly training without a goal or plan, that's just a waste of time. Babata said, I can only give you suggestions, I can't make decisions for you. Luo Feng nodded, I understand. What suggestions do you have? 1. You have to pay attention to your fighter training, you can't let it go. 2. The control and illusion techniques that Master left behind are the basics, you have to learn them all. And the mixed chapters is the essence of the Unmo planet. You are the inheritor of the Unmo planet. These precious techniques, you have to learn them all. Whether you want to walk the path of a manipulator or an illusionist, it's up to you. 3. Take out some time to learn the universe common language from me. Luo Feng couldn't help but laugh when he heard this. Babata had given him 3 suggestions, but the first and third of them were things that he had to do. The second one was only for him to choose between the path of a manipulator and the path of an illusionist. This universe common language. Luo Feng opened his mouth. Don't we have translation software? Earth had translation software, how could there not be in the universe? Was there a need to spend so much effort learning a language? To be honest, Luo Feng doesn't like learning languages. Back when he was in school, English was a foreign language. Even though he studied it for 12 years, he could understand most of it and speak it with a stutter. But compared to other students, foreign languages are Luo Feng's weak point. Fortunately, the college entrance examination did not specifically test foreign languages. However, Luo Feng's exam was still a tragedy. I must learn it. Babata said, in the vast universe, although you can use translation software, but if you don't understand the universe language, you will be looked down upon. People would say that you came from some barbaric, backward place. As long as one had a bit of status, who wouldn't be fluent in the universe language? You are Yun Mo's successor, how can you not know how to speak the universe language? Babata's blood-red eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. Alright, I'll learn. Luo Feng nodded. Yes. Babata nodded in satisfaction. Babata, this is a martial artist's cultivation. I'm a spirit reader master, so I just need to cultivate a strong body. As for the other aspects, he would at most train his movement technique a little. There's no need for anything else, said Luo Feng. Short-sighted. Babata was so angry that he smashed the apple in his hand onto the ground. Let me tell you, Babata emphasized, the universe is split into two big sects. One is a fighter, the other is a spirit reader. It's hard to say which of the two is stronger, but the spirit reader's methods are more complicated and strange. If a fighter wants to break through and improve, he has to pay attention to his spirit and willpower. If a spirit reader wants to improve, he has to pay attention to his body and genetic energy. I can't tell right now. However, the universe level, especially the domain lords and sector lords, all have high requirements. In terms of spirit, willpower, origin energy, body, and realm, it has high requirements. Babata said. If you want to store more water in a wooden bucket, it depends on the shortest piece of wood. Hence, a fighter's training cannot fall behind. Right now you're too weak as a fighter, your body strength is only 3.5? Blade technique and movement technique are both basic? Luo Feng said, my blade technique is already at the expert level, and my movement technique is at the perfect level. That's what you people on Earth say. Babata raised his head in disdain. According to the universe's classification, your blade technique and movement technique are only at the basic level, the lowest level. Your body's strength exertion is only 3.5? It's pitifully low. On my UNMO planet, the student level 9's average strength exertion reaches 10. 10? Luo Feng was shocked. This was even higher than Thunder God. And there's a huge problem with your Earth's training. Babata said, for example, your brute force is 1 million kilograms, your strength exertion is 3 times, your attack's impact force is 3 million kilograms, your speed can also greatly increase. Then why can't your defense be amplified? Luo Feng's eyebrows creased. Attack and speed can all be amplified, defense. Earth's fighters have been researching, but they haven't been able to amplify their defense. Fighter training, you can slowly study it later. If you don't understand, ask me. Babata waved his hand and a beautiful glass table appeared in front of Luo Feng. There were 6 chairs beside the table, and all the books that were suitable for Luo Feng's Star Traveler level fighter training all flew onto the table. You can slowly study these. Babata waved his hand again, and all the books on Spirit Reader Masters on that floor flew over. Your main focus is obviously on these. Especially the miscellaneous books. Babata said, the miscellaneous books have to be studied seriously, the miscellaneous books. Every book has a gold cover, it's very eye-catching. Luo Feng's gaze swept across. In that pile of books, there were indeed over 10 books with gold covers, the rest were all black. Randomly picking up a book with a gold cover, Soul Imprint. At the top of the book there were 2 small, unassuming words miscellaneous. Picking up another gold book, Tower of the Void. Beside it there were small words miscellaneous. The 3rd book, Possession. The 4th book, 6 Lights. The 5th book. Every book is extremely profound, for example Soul Imprint. The reason why the master was able to control the 9 undying slaves was because of this Soul Imprint technique. He left you the inherited Soul Imprint also because of this technique. Soul Imprint is extremely profound and mysterious. The book in your hand is just the basics. Once you've mastered it, I'll give you the 2nd Soul Imprint. Babata said proudly. This is my Yun Mo Sex exclusive technique, it definitely won't be passed on to outsiders. Babata said proudly. Luo Feng couldn't help but to pick up the Soul Imprint book. This was a treasure. To be able to control slaves, and to be able to let them have their own thoughts and even train by themselves, amazing. Tower of the Void is my Yun Mo Sex ultimate soul defense technique. Even among the previous master's direct disciples, only one received it. When master was still alive, it was rare for him to impart these secret techniques to a direct disciple, and he would not even impart all of them. You are lucky you have all the secret techniques and they are all complete. Babata said. Luo Feng was extremely happy within. Teaching a disciple to starve the master when his own teacher was alive, he might have only passed down one technique, but knowing that he was going to die, he would definitely leave behind all of them. Treasure. This was the true treasure. Even though Control Chapter and Illusion Chapter were important, other Undying Warriors also had them. However, Mixed Chapter had all kinds of unique techniques, be it defense, attack, illusion or life-threatening techniques or even control and enslavement. They were all very mysterious and strange. In the universe, to obtain one of these techniques, one would need a lot of luck or countless treasures to exchange for it. And Luo Feng obtained a whole bunch in one go. From Star Traveler to Sector Lord, the entire Yun-Mo sect had everything. After flipping through the books in the virtual space for a while, Luo Feng felt a piercing pain in his consciousness. Within the training room, Luo Feng's body became a blur, after which he disappeared from the virtual space training room. Oh, it's been 3 hours, I'm at the final step of merging. Babata laughed. Tianjin City, temporary villa, second level training room. Snow was falling outside, however, Luo Feng's consciousness was undergoing a shocking change. Within his consciousness, in the vast sea of consciousness, there was only a single miniature planet that glowed with a halo. This miniature planet was formed by the fusion of densely packed transparent pyramidal crystals. It was a perfect whole, the entire miniature planet was emitting a formless peculiar ripple. The miniature planet's core, a rhombus blood-red crystal, was at the core of the miniature planet. Formless blood-red threads, with this rhombus blood-red crystal as the core, covered the entire miniature planet. Chi-chi. Countless blood-red threads continuously merged into the miniature planet. A piercing pain that was the trembling of the soul. The entire miniature planet began to change color at a speed visible to the naked eye. From the previous almost transparent color, it gradually turned into a light pink, light red, and the entire miniature planet was dyed red. Finally, it turned into a blood-red color that was exactly the same as the blood-red crystal. The miniature planet, during its transformation, seemed to have shrunk by one size. Phew, so comfortable. Luo Feng was extremely comfortable. Luo Feng, congratulations on passing the hardest stage. Normal spirit readers are unable to unleash our Yun-Mo sex techniques. They have to first change their spirit energy. Before on Yun-Mo planet they had to rely on themselves for a long time. And you, with Master's help, have passed this stage. Babata was extremely happy. Babata, my soul's core, that blood-red crystal still hasn't disappeared, what's going on? Luo Feng asked. That's the inherited soul imprint. Master thought that his future disciple would be stronger, but you're only a Star Traveler level 1, the inherited soul imprint hasn't even been completely used up and you've already completed the transformation. Babata said, right now you've already crossed the threshold. However, you're still a student level 9 fighter, then, without further ado, you'll first step into the Star Traveler level. Luo Feng was happy. He was a Star Traveler level 1 spirit reader, however he was only at the peak of the War God level. Your consciousness and spirit are sufficient, your body has also reached the peak of the student level 9, it's very easy, a few breaths of time and you'll be done. Babata said. For someone like Luo Feng who has all the conditions, he can break through to the Star Traveler level 1 stage fighter, at any time. However, Babata still taught Luo Feng 9 consecutive movements, which were similar to the Daoyin technique. Inhale. When he performed the first movement, Luo Feng felt his entire body start to heat up. As he performed each movement, every cell in his body seemed to be boiling. The genetic energy hidden in every cell that wasn't absorbed started to gather like water droplets. The water droplets gathered into a stream, a river. A wave of heat came from his entire body and continuously gathered. Finally, it gathered at Luo Feng's abdomen. Rumble. There's a fundamental difference between a spirit reader and a fighter. A spirit reader's source is in the head's consciousness, while a fighter's source is in the abdomen's dantian. In the dantian. As if Pangu created the world, the dantian that originally didn't exist instantly opened up. The spinning genetic energy spun rapidly and continuously expanded and contracted. Every time it expanded and contracted, its volume became smaller and smaller. Luo Feng only felt his consciousness tremble and his body tremble. Success. In the vast dantian, a miniature planet appeared. Unlike the miniature planet in the consciousness that was transparent when it was first born, the miniature planet in the dantian was actually golden. The entire miniature golden planet was, in fact, a unified whole made up of a large number of golden, six-sided crystals. The golden miniature planet continued to rotate and at the same time, it emitted a strange wave. Genetic energy. Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat. A strand of golden genetic energy instantly flew out of the dantian and flowed into his body. Crack, crack, crack. Crackle, crackle. In an instant, Luo Feng's bones, marrow, skin, veins, organs, etc. all rapidly changed. The transformation this time was even more ridiculous than when his spiritual force stepped into the Star Traveler level. Luo Feng felt as if his bones were being smashed and then reformed. Let me see what your special ability is, laughed Babata weirdly. Don't be nervous, genetic energy is the most suitable to change the body. The extent of its transformation of the body is much more exaggerated than the transformation of telekinesis. Oh, hee. It's the diamond body? Ha, Luo Feng, your luck isn't bad. Babata was extremely happy. And the body transformation was still ongoing. Luo Feng's entire body was growing stronger by leaps and bounds, much more exaggerated than a normal fighter stepping into the Star Traveler level. Just like when Li Yao stepped into the Star Traveler level, even though his body also transformed, the transformation wasn't as exaggerated as Luo Feng's. Of all the parts of his body that had transformed, the most exaggerated was his bones. Luo Feng's bones, as though they were constantly being hammered and tempered, that ka-ka-ka sound even passed through Luo Feng's body. If someone came to the training hall on the second floor at this time, they would be able to faintly hear the sounds of bones being forged and transformed. Babata, you said the diamond body, what is that? Luo Feng asked. At the student level, spirit readers have a huge advantage. Babata said, However, once you step into the Star Traveler level, martial artists also had their own methods. This is a special ability. Different Star Traveler martial artists, some have a special ability of flame, some have a special ability of light. These are the most basic sayings of you Earthlings. In the universe, all sorts of special abilities can be categorized into 8 main types: metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, lightning, and light. Yours is the rare diamond body of the metal element. Babata said. LuoFeng was confused as he listened. Simply put, it's because of the difference in your body and soul. The energy your body absorbs is actually different. This is the genetic energy that is converted. Of course it's different. Babata said, genetic energy is split into the 8 types of metal, wood, water, fire, earth, lightning, wind, and light. And your special abilities are given by the genetic energy. You can also split it into 8 main types, but each type can be split into many different types. For example, the flame type can also be split into flame man, flame refiner, etc. Even the same flame refiner, which is also at the Star Traveler level 1 stage, can control a higher temperature. LuoFeng finally understood. Actually, there's no difference between the 8 types. In any category there were very strong special abilities, and in any category there were also very weak special abilities. And LuoFeng himself has the diamond body of the diamond type. In the training room on the 2nd floor of the villa. Let's rinse. Right after his transformation, LuoFeng entered the bathroom and laid in the bathtub. Outside the bathroom window, snow was falling. As he laid in the bathtub, LuoFeng communicated with Babata. The diamond body means that at the same level your bones and muscles will be stronger than other fighters. This is an extremely rare ability. Because if your bones and muscles are stronger, you can explode with even more power. And your attacks will be even stronger. Babata said, this can increase your attacks, speed and defense. Especially your defense. Once your genetic energy fuses with your skin and muscles, your defense will be extremely shocking. So the diamond body is extremely rare. Among the normal metal element special abilities, the most common one is sharpness. This allows your attacks to have even more penetrative power. Babata said. LuoFeng slightly nodded. LuoFeng was very satisfied with the ability of the diamond body. This means that he can have a stronger body than others at the same level. And his defense is even more shocking. Diamond body. With a thought, LuoFeng's genetic energy immediately fused with his skin and muscles. LuoFeng could clearly see that his skin seemed to have a metallic sheen to it. Wow. LuoFeng walked out of the bathtub and stood beside the mirror. The mirror had the ability to heat up the fog. The LuoFeng in the mirror was like a god of war. His entire body had a metallic sheen to it. Just by looking at it, one could feel its immense power. It was already the 3rd day in Tianjin City. The grass in the sector was covered in snow. LuoFeng's family ate lunch with his aunt's family and a group of people were walking on the road of the sector. Yong Qing and Yong Yuan only came back because they asked for leave from the research institute. After the leave ends they have to rush back. The rules at the research institute are very strict. Tang Cheng and Luo Honghua, this pair of cousins, walked side by side. They both experienced the grand nirvana period when they were kids. Work is more important. Luo Honghua smiled and nodded. This time it's all thanks to you guys. Otherwise that Wang Xing An would definitely make our family. Tang Cheng couldn't help but to shake his head. It's all in the past, said Luo Honghua. To your LuoFeng it doesn't mean much, but to our family it's a huge favor. Yongqing Yong Yuan, why are you two so shy? Quickly go thank your cousin. Tang Qing shouted. Tang Yongqing and Tang Yong Yuan, who were behind them, turned to look at LuoFeng. Cousin, thank you. Tang Yongqing stood beside LuoFeng, slightly reserved. Indeed. Not just Tang Yongqing, the entire Tang family, after knowing LuoFeng's identity, couldn't help but be reserved. This couldn't be helped. If one's relative was the president of a strong country with the president standing beside you, would you be able to speak freely and without any psychological barriers? This wasn't something normal people could do. Thank you, cousin, said Tang Yong Yuan. It's nothing when you have time in the future. Come to Jiangnan headquarter city, Yangzhou city, my family side, smiled LuoFeng. Walking on the road of the sector. LuoFeng's phone suddenly vibrated. Picking up the phone, LuoFeng walked to the side. The phone screen displayed Jia Yi's number. Hello, LuoFeng's face revealed a smile. The person delivering the ancient treasure had arrived. LuoFeng, it's me, Jia Yi. Jia Yi's voice was resounding. The list of items from the ancient ruins has already been prepared. Are you in Tianjin City now? I'll be right there, no problem, right? No problem. LuoFeng laughed. Actually, yesterday the HR Alliance's Lady Isadora came looking for me. However, I'm still preparing to trade with you first. This was the truth. The HR Alliance had already prepared the list. However, LuoFeng was still preparing to pick items from his country. That way when he went looking for Lady Isadora, if he found the same item, he wouldn't have to buy it again. Ah, thank you so much. Jia Yi laughed brightly. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Alright. LuoFeng immediately hung up. After LuoFeng and his family sent off their relatives, his father, mother and brother went to the hospital to visit his aunt, while LuoFeng stayed at home. Villa's 2nd floor study room. Open this laptop, first enter the password, then prepare to accept the transfer. Jia Yi stood at the side, holding a storage device in his hand. Password accepted. It's ready. LuoFeng sat in front of the laptop. Jia Yi pressed the button. Immediately a large amount of information was transferred to Luo Feng's laptop. Within a few seconds the transfer was complete. Jia Yi, you drink some tea first. Sit, I want to take a good look. Luo Feng laughed. Alright, no rush. Jia Yi sat at the side, holding a teacup. In his heart he was anticipating Luo Feng to pick a few more items from the archaeological ruins. After all, if he could exchange for one more Muya crystal, that would be a huge success. Luo Feng sat in front of the computer, carefully looking through. There were pictures of every special item unearthed from an ancient civilization ruin. Some of the items with special functions would even be demonstrated in videos. Usage and value were all described. Babata, Luo Feng pretended to look through, but in his heart he was thinking, have you received the data? Babata was a living AI, he could borrow the internet to look at information from all over the world. However, right now, due to the archaeological ruins, every country's confidential information was disconnected from the internet. They didn't connect to the internet at all, and forbade others from connecting to the internet. All sorts of protective measures prevented Babata from seeing any of the confidential information. And now, this computer had long since connected to Babata. I've received it. Babata replied. Okay, take a good look, see if there's anything useful. Luo Feng left everything to Babata. As for himself, he had to put on an act, looking through all sorts of archaeological ruins items.